Hello friends, welcome to the Elite class. Today we're going to start with our means answer writing practice. In our practice session, I'll be explaining one question and the way to approach it, and one question I'll be giving you to practice. Your answers will be evaluated and feedbacks will be given too. You just have to submit your answers on my email ID that is given in the description below. So let's get started with our today's question. Our today's question is: in spite of the adverse environmental impact, coal mining is still inevitable for the development discussed. This question is asking us that even after knowing that coal mining adversely affects our environment, we cannot avoid its use for development. Discuss why is it so. So this is what our question is asking us about. So let's see how to approach this question. In the intro, we have to start by explaining the status of the coal dependence in India. We have to explain the states serving as the coal reserves, its direct impact on environment, and our incapabilities to avoid using it. So this is how I have mentioned it. That is, India is one of the leading countries for coal mining operations. Coal fulfills about 67% of the total commercial energy consumed in India. The states of Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh have a huge amount of the coal reserves, and coal mining has a direct link with the environmental destruction. It is yet not replaceable as it is a major contributor to industrialization. So this is how we should start and introduce our question. Moving forward to the impact. Now we will start with the impact. In the impact of coal mining, we have to include all the three spheres, that is the air, land and the water. Now, in order to make it more unique answer, what you have to do is that simply you have to divide your paper into three sections horizontally and name one part as air, one as land and one as water. In the land portion, you can draw an outline. As you can see, even I have drawn an outline like this, and I have mentioned the name under this as underground mine, so that the land portion is depicting our underground mine portion. Okay, and then in the above land we have written air, and below land we have written water. Then we will be explaining the impact of the coal mining on air, on land and on water. So on the air, the formulation of the particulate matter is one such reason which is impacting our environment. Second is the cause of acid rain. The greenhouse gas emissions are also there. So this is the impact of coal mining on air. Moving to land, the underground mining may decay the resources underneath the soil. Fine. It can contaminate our groundwater, and most importantly, for coal mining, the first step starts with the deforestation of that particular area of land. So this is how our land is affected. Then coming to the water portion, so water, simply acidification of the water bodies took place, and dissolved and suspended solids will be more in concentration in our water bodies. So this is how this coal mining is impacting our environment. Fine. Now, as we have already studied about that how is it, and we also studied about the impacts of the coal mining. So then still we say that it is unavoidable for us to make use of coal mining a bit less. And why is it so? Why is it inevitable for the development? So this is inevitable because India, we have to tell that what are the reasons behind it. Okay, so the first reason being that is the source of livelihood to millions of people. It is not just the people are connected to the coal mining sector directly, but many of the people are connected to the sector indirectly as well. Fine, this is the first reason. The second reason being the lifeline of the thermal power plants. We know that most of our energy sector is running on the thermal power plants, and thermal power plants run on coal. So we can say 72% of the electricity is generated by the coal based power plants. Fine. Then the volatile prices. Fine. Volatile prices of the clean fuels, because we know that the clean fuels are sometimes more expensive, their prices keep on fluctuating, so it will become a bit difficult for us to tackle with all these fluctuating prices, these expensive fuels and all. So it's better we rely on our coal, which is a big reserve in India actually. And in our next reason, we have already mentioned that we have an abundance of the coal bed in India, so which exhausts us for its extraction. Fine. And lastly, it is actually the domestic fuel for the tribals, because tribals use coal as a household fuel, and it's cheaper in the price, it's economical for everyone to use it. So this makes it inevitable for particularly for India to just make use of renewable resources, keeping it all aside. So maybe it will take place in phases, but not altogether. Moving to the conclusion. In the conclusion, we simply have to say, why is reliability of India expected to extend for further more years? We have to explain the problem in using the renewable energy resources. Like you can see here, we have mentioned that India has a dependence on coal, and it is expected to persist even in 2040s. And what is the reason behind its persistence? Because right now we can see that we are using solar energy to a greater extent. Now this problem is the problem in using the renewable energy resources simply the uncertainty in the prices. What is the the uncertainty in the storage cost, the grid connectivity network, making it an over ambitious to expect to be a central for India's development. And even if we expect it to be central for India's development, so it is still dreamt of to be for a longer period of time. We have to wait for a time to come where renewable energy resources are a center of energy for the development of India. Now, what are the way forwards to make coal at least a bit evitable, to avoid it, to avoid it at least in phases? So what we can do, we can simply adopt supercritical technologies, that are the more green technologies, which have reduced ash generation, low greenhouse gas emissions, the lower heat rates, and much more. You can also use the scrubbers, and most importantly, we can reskill the people who are engaged in the coal mining sector, so that they can have an alternate source of the livelihood. So this is how we're going to approach this answer, and this is the end of the answer, where we have included the introduction, the body part, the way forward, and this makes it a very compact and very unique answer. So moving forward, now is the time for the practice question, which I'm going to give you all as homework. So the question is, how will the melting of Himalayan glaciers have a far-reaching impact on the water resources of India? Examine. So in the description below is given my email ID. You have to submit the answer of this question on this email ID, and within a day or two I will be forwarding the feedbacks to you all. And if you also want me to discuss any other subjects question, or any other question in particular, you can comment in the you can comment it down below, and I'll surely be working on that, so that I can help you in any way possible for me. So this is all for today. We'll meet you in the next lecture. Thank you so much.